What is happening, every people, every person's rock and slash old rollers? Welcome to the Mad Poet Show. I am the Mad Poet. You are an audience. We are the Mad Poet Society, and this is what we do. Thanks for being here. Greatly appreciated. Hope everyone's having a great day, and or morning, and or afternoon, and or evening, and or night. And I hope you are rocking and slash or rolling at this time. The song we just played was called The First Excursus. That is dedicated to my buddy John. John, I don't know if you're out there today, but John is the reason that we are here. I was doing a series of shows at a local coffee shop, small chain of coffee shops you may have heard of called Starbucks. A little on the unknown side. John dared me one day to sing Taylor Swift's Teardrops on My Guitar. And that dare, which of course I said yes to, that led to everything we're doing. It's a fairly entailed story, but a very fun one. And so thank you, John, if you happen to be out there watching, listening, or smelling my show today, because that did me a lot of good. If he hadn't dared me that, it's very possible I wouldn't be doing Twitch. I wouldn't have put out all my albums, and we wouldn't be here today as the Mad Poet Society doing what we do. So John's an awesome guy. He's an author. He's an aspiring author, I should say. To my knowledge, he has not finished his book yet, but I've read his work, and he's really good. In fact, look up John's writer's block. He's got a blog. I don't know how active he is these days, but very, very good stuff. Very cool guy. Very likable person. And so I appreciate what he did for me. And so the album we're playing today is called Parentheticals. This is my 7th album. And yeah, fun fact, the typewriter on the album cover, I typed in the word parentheticals in parentheses, and that's the album. That typewriter is my typewriter, and it's the one that I learned to type on. And it's an old Remington Rand, and it's a big, heavy sucker, man. I've moved that thing a few times, and it's like, yeah, okay, they used a lot of metal in typewriters back then. Much heavier than my little keyboard here. My little plastic keyboard, which is also very good, and I also type on. I know it's crazy to think that I would type on both a typewriter and a computer keyboard. It's like, Randy, where do you come up with these crazy ideas that you could do that? I know, it's just the way I think, you know. Boom, craziness. So let's move forward here. Continuing on with parentheticals. I'm only going to be doing one album today. I think probably in both shows I've been a lot busier of late than normal. So yeah, just all good things. Fortunately, Sarah and I are pretty much over being sick, which makes us very happy. She's got a few more after effects than I have. She got the sickness a bit worse than I did. So, but yeah, moving on to other things. We have been just inordinately busy, particularly this last week or so. And so, yeah, I haven't really had as much chance to prep for this. But I gotta say, it feels really good just to be sitting here jamming on the guitar, not worrying about anything else. But I digress. So let's play some music, which leads us in a very nice segue to this next song, which is called But I Digress. We definitely got a light getting funky back here. Xena, welcome very much to our little stream today. It's good to see. I don't think we've seen you for a while. It's good having you back. Where are we at here? There we are. Cool. So yeah, we got Xena, we got Therese. I don't know who else might be out there, but welcome to our stream. It is good to see you all. It is good to be here playing music as we do. And happy riffing to you all. Let's get some water. I feel like there's something I'm supposed to say about this next song, but I'm not sure what it is, so I'm not going to because that's how I do. But, yeah, actually, I don't know if you've been around. Sarah and I have been very sick lately, actually. We got food poisoning, a bacteria known as Camelot. It's brutal. It is absolutely, both of us describe it as the worst we've ever been sick. We're well now, but for a while there, yeah, I was in bed for the first few days for like 18 to 20 hours a day. It was that bad, and I kind of think of myself as this fit guy, go out and run, except for this time of year because there's ice, and I understand head wounds and hypothermia. But I'll rope jump and I could do pull-ups and push-ups and squats and all that, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I can't get out of bed. It's like, dude, there are too many things in this world that can just take me down, and I don't like it. I'm in this picture and I don't like it. So, but yes, we're very well now, so thank you very much. I hope this doesn't sound like a complaint, because I kind of find it humorous after the fact. It was much less humorous at the time, but yeah, also has been very busy working on personal projects, and of course working on music, and here and there I've been jumping in and working on the next album, which I realize is a year and a half in the making, which is absurd since this album took me 6 days, the one I'm playing now, and it's an album that I really, really like. So there's a range there of how I comport myself, apparently. And yeah, it actually makes me think of the title of this next song. What do we got here? We're in G minor, it looks like. I like G minor. G minor's fun. G minor, and what else we got going on? Medium pace. Let's try it out. This piece is called Contentless Cognition. And so here we are, at the end of a song, and at the beginning of another one. Because that's what happens when you play one song after the other. You know, since we haven't seen Xena in a while, we should probably do a poetry reading, because Xena is the person who kicked off the whole poetry reading thing. I was talking about my poetry. I was talking about how ironic it is that I, the mad poet, don't do poetry on my streams and don't even have lyrics in my songs. And I do get the irony of this. And she was like, I want to hear a poem. And I'm like, okay. And so it's kind of become a little bit of a thing, but I haven't done one. I haven't done very many of these recently. So let's open up some poetry. Let's do a poetry reading here. Where's my poetry page? Let's see what we got. Last one I read was The Blood of the Guitar, so let's not do that. And I do have to have poems that I can actually read, because some of my poems, as I've explained, are not appropriate for public audiences. This one, for example, that I'm looking at, I won't even read the title of it to you. Oh, yes. Not is a really good poem, but it's like huge. Someday I may have to do like just a poetry reading stream, because like Not, which is N-A-U-G-H-T, Not, and also Veil are like stupid long. I've got another one stupid long. I think it's called The Slate, but that one isn't very good. Subtlety, can't read that one. Silicosis, can't read that one. So I've got one here called 17 Haikus. There's nothing in that collection of 17 haikus that I would actually read publicly. I'm so bad. Okay, here, let's do a haiku. Let's do a haiku. This is a rain haiku. And it is titled Rain Haiku. I know, because I'm crazy like that. Raindrops on the rose, like blood drops on the knife. Eternal passion. I like haikus. Haikus are fun. Let's do one more, because haikus are pretty short. This one is just titled I, not like I, but like I. Just the letter I. All right. I need to get some background music set up in here for my poetry reading portions. Mental note: write background music for poetry reading portions of Mad Poet shows. All right, this is called I. I exhale absolutes, but understanding the end, I choose dissipation. Awakening is revelation, comprehension of eternity, a slumber without desire. Quietude is telling, patience is eternity beyond wisdom. Hovering dreams gleaming within stillness, the future invisible. Reveal the history, stand solidly beyond, disappear graciously. I am future, perception upon the air, time and fate concealing the end. I'm such a dork. And that is not a put down in my opinion. I love being a dork. I'm a nerd and I'm a dork, and that's why I do what I do. And I hope that you are all likewise nerds and dorks, because nerds and dorks get stuff done. We really do. All right, you can call me the Prince of Dorkness. This next piece is called Infelicitous Results, and this is one that I've never really cared for. And some people would be like, okay, this one song on this album, I'm not going to play this because when they set up their set list or whatever, because that's not a very good song. But it's interesting how like the last time I talked about this, there was a viewer who goes by Obscure Mysticism Cults and commented in the middle of the song. I talked about how it's one that I don't particularly care for, and he or she, I'm not even sure what Obscure Mysticism Cults is. They were just like, I really like this. It's got a great energy to it. And so I always try to just kind of include my work because I don't know what other people are going to like. There are multiple songs which I feel that I have not executed well. And in my opinion, the worst of all of my songs, over 600 published songs, is a piece called The Battle Hymn of the Fallen Warrior, which I've said before, I think is one of my all-time best song titles. That is a killer song title. And the concept of it was really good. It had this kind of, it was a slow piece, kind of a dark thing with guitars and organs kind of harmonizing with one another. And I just don't think I executed it well, but I've only had good comments on it from other people. So it's like, I don't know what other people are gonna like. And I may think a song sucks and you may think it's great. And I may think a song is great and you may think it sucks. So I'll play them anyway. And you guys can decide which ones you like and which ones you don't. And I'm okay with all that. So let's see what you guys think. This is called Infelicitous Results. And so there's that. Looks like we might even have some people coming in watching us on Nemo. If you're out there on any of the less used platforms, welcome. Thank you very much. I hope that you do not feel ignored. I tend to have more viewers on YouTube and Twitch, so I don't always do a great job of checking all of my chat windows. But welcome wherever you are tuning in from. I'm the Mad Poet. You are an audience. We are the Mad Poet Society, and this is what we do. And one of the things we do is drink water. At least I do. I don't know about you guys. You guys might be drinking soda pop or poison. Hopefully not poison. That's something I'm personally against, but you know, I can't tell other people how to live their lives. I do love me some water. But yes, welcome from wherever you are coming in from. Right now, we are playing my 7th album. It's called Parentheticals. That last song was called Infelicitous Results. I think that's what it was called. That might have been 2 songs back. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I have a lot of songs, so I don't always keep my song title straight. If it's not on my screen, I may not remember it. Because, as I pointed out, I am an airhead. Proudly. Alright, this next piece is called Failure to Reconcile, and it's kind of an experiment in triplets. I would say is kind of what this song really started out as. There was some just some songs I've been listening to with a lot of triplets in. I'm like, I want to try some kind of triplety kind of stuff. And I certainly done triplets before, and I love the triplet feeling. I've done it many times since. But this is kind of just all the way through. It's primarily a triplet feel. I think there might be some straight time sections in this song, but not significant. I could be wrong. I actually did not practice this album before coming in and doing it. I haven't played this one for a while, so I'm kind of going in blind on this one. It's been probably a couple months since I played any of this work. So yeah, we're just kind of seeing where things go today. Every once these songs come up and I'm like, okay, do I remember what's going on this? I'm like, no, I don't. Let's just hit play and see what happens. Which I love the improvisational nature of kind of how I conduct myself as a musician. Certainly parts of this are composed, parts of it are, the solos are pretty much improvised. I'll often have a little motif. So in this song, like you'll hear this. So that's kind of the motif. That's only part of the solo that I've actually composed. And even sometimes I'll see on my screen my sheet music going by and my motif will come up and I'll miss it. It happens. So mostly improvised work here, which makes these shows possible, because if I had to memorize all this, it would never happen. There's just way too much music for that. Let's try this out. Triplet song. This is called Failure to Reconcile. Hey, Sash, thanks for tuning in on Facebook. And Happy New Year right back at you. Play Along the Watchtower, please. Hey, thank you for the request, but I'm actually, the way I'm set up, I'm not set up to do any kind of cover tunes or anything. And so I play original music, and the way I'm set up here is playing through this system. I play through my recording program, my guitar goes through there, and and I can't just like switch to something else. To do that, I'd have to have already prepared backing tracks for Along the Watchtower, which unfortunately I haven't done. I love that song though, the Jimi Hendrix version and the Dylan original. Awesome song. And also, I really like the version of All Along the Watchtower from, I think it was season 2 or 3 of Battlestar Galactica. And I forget the composer's last name, but he set this up. There was dialogue in the show where they were referencing lines from All Along the Watchtower, and then he had this. Occasionally he would put in the theme of All Along the Watchtower, and it finally coalesced at I think it might have been like the last scene of the season. This just awesome version of All Along the Watchtower, and I was just like, oh, this is so cool. Yeah, a great piece of music. I'm a big fan of Dylan, big fan of Hendrix. Like a lot of people, I actually became a fan of Dylan through the work of Hendrix. You know, Hendrix did multiple covers from Dylan, All Along the Watchtower being the most well-known. And I was like, what really turned me on to that is just that first line. There must be some kind of way out of here, said the Joker to the thief. That is such a poetic piece of lyrics. I mean, that is like lyrical history right there. And I was like, man, I gotta hear the rest of these lyrics. And then I found out that, this was Dylan. I've heard of Dylan. I need to listen to some of that music. Many years ago now that occurred. I've actually, I once started my own kind of cover tune of All Along the Watchtower. The main riff was done on a piano, and I kind of hid it in there. And then I still got some of the sheet music for that somewhere. That would be a fun one to do. I think right now there are only 2 cover tunes that I've done that are published, which is Paint It Black by the Stones and While My Guitar Gently Weeps by the Beatles. And that one, if you want to hear me singing, I actually sing on While My Guitar Gently Weeps. On Paint It Black, my friend Deirdre did the singing. She's this lovely opera, kind of more of an alto. She can do some very high range stuff, but lovely voice, and that's a lot of fun doing the cover tunes. I've got a lot more cover tunes I've done that I have not published than cover tunes that I have published. So, yeah, publishing cover tunes is kind of tricky sometimes. It's not tricky, it's just DMCA can make it more tricky than I would like it to be. Nonetheless, thank you very much for coming in. It's great to have you here. And I'm pretty sure I know who you are. I think you are the photographer that we've worked together before. Excellent. I've had some, if it's who I'm thinking of, excellent photographer. I've had some great photos taken by him. And so, yeah, it's just great having you here. So we're gonna move forward because we've actually got to a little announcement that I've got to make. And some of my regulars will know exactly what this announcement is because, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the G sharp minor portion of the show. You are welcome. And this is one of those songs that I've talked about many times. If people were to try to judge my personality based on song titles, they would really think that I'm a different person than I am. This song is called An Elegant Expression of Hatred. Alrighty then. Moving right on along, as we do. What do we got coming up? Oh, it looks like we're slowing it down a little bit. Slowing it down significantly here. We're down to 70 beats a minute. I gotta make sure of where I'm at, because every once in a while I'll have a song that switches to the clean tone guitar, and I will have forgotten to turn on the clean tone channel, and I get nothing. Because again, dork. This is not one of those cases. Okay, good to know. So we'll see what goes on with this. I've got this note in here that says use neck pickup, and sometimes I use that with the distorted sound. Sometimes I commonly use it with my clean tone sound. I was like, I better make sure, because I haven't played this album for a while, of exactly what that note means. But now we are in a proper state of mind. Everyone is having fun. Everyone has wanged. Everyone has chunged. We're in good shape. This next piece is called Hanging by a Thread. what kind of madness do we got going on here now? For anyone who may be just coming in, I'm the Mad Poet. You are an audience. We are the Mad Poet Society, and we are playing music and drinking water and talking about, stuff. I'm not even sure how many songs are on that. I think it's 10. I think we got 10 songs on this album. So, 8, 9, yeah, we got 10. So we're coming up on song number 8. So we're into the home stretch. Coming in here, we're just gonna play one album today. I've been playing 2 albums in a lot of my shows lately. I'm gonna reserve the right to pick and choose. I've been thinking that some of these upcoming shows may need to have a nice long 3-album marathon. So that might happen one of these days. It just could. One of the big things is, I've got this kind of interesting musical dichotomy, some cognitive dissonance maybe going on. We're in an interview a long time back with, I believe it was Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin. And he was talking about the first time that they played live Stairway to Heaven. Wasn't on the radio yet, wasn't released yet, brand new song. Everyone hated it. The audience hated Stairway to Heaven. Not because it's not a good song, clearly it's a very good song, but because it wasn't something that they already knew. And this is something I noticed, musicians tend to play the same songs over and over because that's what people typically like. They want to hear songs that they know, and that's exactly what that Led Zeppelin audience wanted. They didn't want a new song, they wanted the hits, they wanted the songs they already knew. And I'm of a very different mindset, and I think that most of my listeners probably are as well, which, people who listen to musicians like myself or Buckethead, who put out a lot of music, they're not looking for the same thing over and over. And so for me, like right now, I think I've got 16 of my albums are set up with a light show, so I can go live with any of those. I think it's 16. And I'm working on more. So there's a part of me that's like, okay, I need to get more albums going here because I'm just repeating the songs too much. Where a lot of people would be like, dude, this guy never plays the same thing. So it's like I said, a little cognitive dissonance. Like, how often should I play the same album? All that kind of stuff. And so, if I was doing, when I'm doing 2 albums at noon, 2 different albums in the evening, I feel like, okay, in 4 weeks, I'm gonna have to play some of this stuff again because I will have cycled through the 16 albums that are ready. So I don't know, it's just some thoughts that have been rolling through my brain pan. And so I don't really think I'm doing too much repetition, but sometimes it feels like I'm doing too much repetition. No Stairway, denied. That's much like Along the Watchtower. It's a song I like. It is not a song that I am technically prepared to play in my setup here. It's actually a song, that one I've never learned all the way through. When it comes to like Along the Watchtower, the Dylan version is some basic strumming and stuff. That one is a quick, easy song to play. If you actually wanted to try to pull off the Jimi Hendrix version of Watchtower, you're probably gonna have to spend some time on that one. I don't think I've ever learned a Jimi Hendrix song all the way through, not based on ability, just it's as much as I admire Jimi Hendrix as a guitar player, really just kind of a very different stylistic approach to how we play. I love Jimmy's music though. I listen to Jimmy any old time. That never hurts my feelings at all to have some Hendrix going. Yeah. No respect for the person for the way he died. And this is something I've said before. I've actually thought about making a video about this. A little bit of a rant, just, some people find the 27 Club, all of the music, Kurt Cobain, Janis Joplin, Amy Winehouse, Jimi Hendrix, all these people. Hank Sr. was actually 29 when he died. But there's almost like a cult, almost worship style thing for some people, for people who have died, artists who have died young. And I have no respect for that at all. If you have killed yourself with drugs, I will never respect that. That is not you got something like Amy Winehouse, man, her voice is like a freaking air raid siren. I love Amy's voice. And to waste her life the way she did, no. You can never ask me to respect a person who has done that to their own life. I'll never get behind it. And so just don't. Don't go out there and comport yourself that way. No, these are not respectable deaths at all. What is a respectable death? Old age is a good way to go. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to die quite old. I'm very selfish like that. I guess I'd have to ask whether or not a warrior's death is a respectable one. It depends on what your purpose is in being a warrior. I think that there can be respectable young deaths. If you are fighting to protect your family, I would say that's respectable. If you are fighting to protect your country, your culture, whatever, your people, that could be respectable. But you can be on the wrong side of that one too, so have to give that thought. Nonetheless, that's not what we're here for, to wax philosophical to the right way to die. Oh, dude, song title alert. Song title alert. Taking a note. The right way to die. That is a killer song title. That might even have to end up being an album title. I'm terrible. I'm so terrible. I love it. Okay. So all of this waxing philosophical leads us very nicely into my next song, which is called I Had a Thought. Obscure Mysticism Cults has arrived. Welcome. Hey, I want to let you know I have not shipped off your CD yet, but which camera? There we go. I have got it printed up for you, and it is. It will be in the mail soon. And also, there was a couple other people who did ask for guitar picks last week, so those will be in the mail soon as well. And if anyone is new here, feel free to go to themadpoet.net. Go to the contact page, give me your mailing address, and I will send you a custom Mad Poet guitar pick. And it says The Mad Poet, and in a little letter that says themadpoet.net. You probably can't read it from there or from any of these cameras because it's really small. But that's okay, because that's what it's because I can read it, and I don't actually need to because I designed it. I know. Crazy. All right. So, welcome. Good to see you. I am only playing one album today, so we've got a couple songs left for you, and I hope that you are enjoying it. And Sash, tuning in from Facebook, says, amazing. Thank you very much. Really appreciate the compliments. I'm glad you're here. Absolutely. I'm not great at the actual shipping part of shipping, I will admit. So sometimes when I tell people how to mail them stuff, it goes a little slow. And Gordon's here. Gordon is an old military buddy of mine. We were in boot camp together. Very cool guy. Glad you're enjoying it, Gordon. Good to see you back again. Thanks for stopping in multiple times. It's always good when a person comes back a second time. It's like the first time they're in, they might be like, hey, just happened across this guy playing guitar. But when you come back a second time, it's like, okay, that was probably on purpose. Good. That makes me feel better about what I'm doing. All right, we got 2 songs left. We got a slow one, and then we got a really nice fast one. And the last song on this album is one of my favorites to play, and also a killer song title. This song, I really don't remember what it sounds like. So this is one of those where I'm just gonna have to hit play and see what happens. See, what I do in a case like this is I'm like, okay, I can see that it's in D minor. Good. I know where to put my fingers. I can see it's 90 beats a minute. Good. I know how fast to put my fingers there. And the rest of it, I'm gonna have to figure out what happens because I don't even know what this song sounds like. So let's see what happens. Shall we, kids? Yes, we shall. This song is called That Depends on You. All right. We got a nice little crowd happening here. Having a good time with this. Now I got to remember where, because I set this one up to be a little bit funky. And if I recall correctly, so I got to make sure that I've got everything in the right place. Okay, that should work. And that's because this one shows some sheet music at the beginning, as we have seen before, previously and or priorly. Let's do it that way. So this song, for any fans of the band Camelot, this will probably sound comfortable. Certainly not a Camelot cover tune, but very heavily inspired by a lot of their work. And I am just a massive, massive Camelot fan. For those who may not be aware of the band Camelot, it's Camelot spelled with the letter K, kind of the more traditional, almost esoteric spelling of Camelot. And they're a power metal band. You know, you'll sing about the typical power metal stuff. Basically, songs about Dungeons and Dragons, which is awesome. And they're just great. I've seen them live a couple times. I actually got to meet them once, just very briefly. My friend Susan, who occasionally stops into our chat, had picked up a couple of meet and greet tickets for a concert, and that was fun. That was really cool. I got a picture of him with my guitar. Actually, it was my classical guitar. That one happened to have with me, and they were asking me about it. And I was like, well, you know, I was down in the area, had my guitar with me, and there's no way I'm leaving it in my car. And they were like, yeah, that's a good move. And actually, probably one of my favorite guitars of all time, I lost that way. I went into a dance class. I think it was Cha Cha I was working on that night. I love dancing. I'm not great at it, but I've taken a lot of dance classes. So I go into this dancing. I left it was like a $3,000 guitar. I left it in my truck, and I'm like, I go out and it's gone. My briefcase was gone. I had checks from a bunch of my students in there, and I was like, I know better. That's on me. That guitar was really unique too. I just customized the crap out of it. It was a Les Paul, a mid-90s Les Paul Studio. I'd had the fretboard removed, replaced with one that had no fret markers in it. So I just had the markers up on top. You can see those in the camera. It had the pickup covers on it, so I'd taken this pickup, the bridge pickup cover, to a trophy shop, and I had it engraved with the words Vanoir, which is French for black wine, which my daughter named the guitar. They also engraved my truss rod cover with my initials, changed all the electronics. I had these, just really just customized the heck out of it. It was a great guitar. Very unfortunate, but like I said, you know, I know better. You don't leave your guitar in your car. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm rambling here. This is part of what the Mad Poet does. Back to what we're working on here. So the very first song on this album is called The First Excursus, and this is called A Final Divagation. All right, gangsters, that is it for the afternoon the afternoon show. I will be back at 8 o'clock p.m. in the Pacific time zone. Please adjust properly for your own time zone as necessary. Looking forward to it. Thank you everyone for coming in. I am the Mad Poet. You are an audience. We are the Mad Poet Society. This is what we do. We'll be back in about 6.5 hours. Did I get that right? Yep. I don't know. We'll be back this evening at 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are all here. I hope some other people are here. And I will see you on the other side.